Hello and welcome to National Focus. I am Aliyah Martin. In the headlines, Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit calls on the formation of a new entity to represent the music industry. Dominica observes Global Entrepreneurship Week, and 7 individuals, 1 group, received Golden Drum Awards. Details of the headline stories and more when we return.
The hurricane season is less than a month away. Find out today what types of hazards that could happen where you live. Hurricanes can cause many hazards, including flooding due to heavy rainfall, large waves along the coast, strong winds, landslides, and falling rocks. Determine your risk and be prepared for any eventuality. A message from the Government Information Service.
Welcome back. Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit has called on musicians in Dominica to form an entity to represent individuals within the music industry. He says the absence of an organization to represent artists creates a disadvantage for entertainers.
I have suggested that we need to come together and have an organization, an entity that can represent the interests of entertainers. Because as it is now, if we're to consult, who do we call?
That's right.
You know, and who do we leave out? You know, because you run the risk of leaving out people that should not be left out. And because everybody is representing himself and his band and his group, his organization. But if we have an organization and my office were to write and say, I'd like to have a meeting with entertainers, then you would make the contact on my behalf and say, okay, well, 10 of us will come to represent the entertainers. Likewise, Creole Festival. I believe that more Dominican bands should make it on the Creole Festival list every year. But which ones do you include every year? Which ones do you leave out every year? And so if the organization were to meet and say, okay, well, 10 Dominicans are going to be on the Creole Festival, the association would meet and recommend to the DFC, say, these are the 10 people that we come.
Prime Minister Skerrit says government is prepared to assist the musicians with the resources needed to form the organization.
So I really believe that we have to organize ourselves. We have to be more professional, we have to be more structured. And from the government standpoint, we're prepared to assist in whatever we can. I mean, this is your private sector people, and you know, it's a free market economy. This is a democracy. People are free to associate and are free to disassociate. But I believe that it would be of tremendous good for Dominica and for entertainers if we have one organization. And I understand there may be frictions between people, among people, and so, but that's part of the entertainment industry. But that should not overshadow the greater good of us working together.
Manager of TK International Band, Mr. Geoffrey Joseph, says it is important for musicians to have a united voice.
We have seen it within our own individually, where we need to have that united voice to be able to represent our concerns, not only to the government, but to all other entities, even in terms of having a representation overseas, where the situation, if an artist overseas and that person can use that body to represent on his behalf, you know, and so on. So we definitely realize and recognize that we need to unify as an industry. We need all the players to come together. We need all the players to be able to interact with each other on a business level where we can represent ourselves properly. And that these things that we're looking for from, in terms of assistance from the private sector entities, from the public sector and all other places, that we can represent with one universal voice. And that I think in that way we'll be able to get greater results.
Meantime, Buyo artist Asa Bantan believes the music industry should be taken more seriously.
I want government to take the music industry serious, like how they just take agriculture. The same way you guys take agriculture, I want you guys to take the music industry seriously, you know, in terms of financing, certain guys with studio and only serious people, not people are just saying they're in music for the fun of it, because music is a business. I take music serious because that's the way I make my bread, that's the way I eat. So, and then those people there that's serious, the people in the studios, You know, people who video guys who make music videos and so on, because those equipments are very expensive. So maybe they can get some duty free on certain equipments and so on.
This week, the Dominica Youth Business Trust, DYBT, joins the rest of the world to observe Global Entrepreneurship Week in Dominica. During 1 week each November, thousands of events and competitions in 170 countries inspire millions to engage in entrepreneurial activity while connecting them to potential collaborators, mentors, and even investors. This year's theme for the Entrepreneurship Week is Building Strategic Partnership for Sustainable Youth Entrepreneurship and Development.
The theme reverberates the need for strong alliances that aim to support the development, transfer, and implementation of innovative practices, as well as the implementation of joint initiatives promoting cooperation, peer learning, and exchanges of experience to strengthen youth entrepreneurship. During this COVID-19 pandemic, we have seen the emergence of strategic partnerships between a number of entrepreneurs with the local and regional sphere and an effort to widen their customer pool and increase revenue. Entrepreneurship is more than just the narrow pursuit of commercial success. It is the engine that solves the world's problems. It is the cornerstone of economic growth and global stability, which creates jobs and enhances human welfare.
The minister stated that according to the International Labour Organization 2008 report, promoting youth entrepreneurship has the potential to contribute to social development. It offers young people an opportunity to increase their earnings through self-employment and to create jobs for others, thereby raising their living standard while reducing poverty and building sustainable livelihoods.
While older businesses tend to become obsolete, young enterprises that grow inject dynamism into an economy and engender innovation into a society. Young enterprises create new wealth and jobs, and they make up approximately 90% of enterprises in the world and account for 50 to 60% of employment, especially in emerging economies.
This week, the DYBT will partner with various public and private sector institutions, as well as regional and international organizations, in several events to observe Global Entrepreneurship Week 2020.
2 webinars will be held on Tuesday 16th and Thursday 19th November, respectively. Tuesday's webinar is themed Women Entrepreneur Work-Life Balance, while the theme for Thursday's webinar is Tech Entrepreneurs Exploring Tech-Based Business. Both focus on local entrepreneurs and the various opportunities available within Dominica's local sectors. On Wednesday, 18th November, the DYBT will hold its 16th graduation and award ceremony at the St. Alphonsus Parish Hall, where approximately 80 deserving entrepreneurs will be awarded certificates in entrepreneurial training. A young businessman and woman will be awarded as determined male and female entrepreneurs of the year.
To end the week, the Trust will collaborate with the Ministry of Trade, Commerce, Entrepreneurship, Innovation, Business and Export Development, the Dominica Association for Industry and Commerce, and the Office of the Prime Minister to host a virtual expo and product showcase. This expo will be held on Friday, 20th November 2020 through the DYBT Facebook page. The aim is to place entrepreneurs' items on e-commerce platforms, which will allow for public to not only view but purchase items. The partnership with shop.dm, DominicaOnlineMall.com, iShop Caribbean, and Access 767 is welcomed. Minister King pledged government's continued support to the development of micro, small, and medium enterprises. World Diabetes Day was observed on November 14, 2020 under the theme, Nurses Make the Difference in Diabetes. In 2020, the World Diabetes Day campaign focused on promoting the role of nurses in the prevention and management of diabetes. Diabetes is a chronic disease that occurs either when the pancreas does not produce enough insulin or when the body cannot effectively use the insulin it produces. Minister for Health, Wellness and New Health Investment, Honorable Dr. Irvin McIntyre says, according to the World Health Organization, WHO, nurses account for 59% of health professionals.
Nurses are often the first line of contact within the healthcare service, and therefore the quality of that initial assessment, care and treatment of people diagnosed with diabetes is of great significance. Studies have shown that 1 in every 2 people currently living with type 2 diabetes is undiagnosed. The ever-increasing number of people living with diabetes throughout the world places a significant value on the role of nurses in preventing and controlling the impact of diabetes on the healthcare system and economy.
Minister McIntyre says the government has implemented policies and measures to deal with diabetes.
The government of Dominica, through the Ministry of Health, Wellness and New Health Investment, have developed and implemented public health policies and strategies to include, but not limited to, retraining of healthcare workers, both in the public and private sector, training of nurses and other healthcare workers, and NGOs in chronic disease self-management program, a program aimed at empowering communities to achieve self-efficacy.
Partnerships with non-governmental organizations remain essential for advocating and combating diabetes.
The ministry has also implemented strategies aimed at strengthening its partnership with several non-governmental agencies, such as the Dominica Diabetic Association, all in an effort in moving forward the agenda of diabetes prevention and control. The Ministry of Health, Wellness and New Health Investment recognizes the important role that nurses play, and through the government's initiatives to improve the working condition for staff as well as providing access to healthcare for the general population, continued enhancement is seen in our healthcare system. This is visible in the new health infrastructures and improved human resource for primary and secondary healthcare.
Diabetes is the most prevalent non-communicable disease affecting people worldwide. The National Cultural Council and the Division of Culture held the annual Golden Drum Awards on Saturday, 14 November 2020. Shakira Pierre has more in this report.
7 individuals and 1 group received Golden Drum Awards this year, while 5 individuals and 1 group received Special Recognitions Award. The Golden Drum Awards ceremony is an annual event which was launched in 1982, and the Golden Drums Awards are given to individuals, groups, or institutions which have made a great contribution to arts and culture spanning more than 20 years. The Golden Drums is Dominica's highest cultural award. A Golden Drum Award was presented to Joan Frampton for the promotion and preservation of traditional dance and music, Delmans Rasmo Moses for the promotion and preservation of traditional music, Andrew Scrunter Basil for the promotion of calypso music, the Carina Cultural Group for the promotion and preservation of Kalinago heritage, Gilles Cabon John Baptist for the promotion and preservation of traditional dances, Lucia Landa was awarded for the contemporary dance, Val Coffey for the promotion of calypso music and events management, and Rosette Bertrand for the promotion and preservation of traditional dance and Creole wear. Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, International Transport and Maritime Initiative, Honorable Shakira Lokat Hippolyte, represented the Minister for Culture, Sports and Community Development, Honorable Rosalind Paul. Honorable Hippolyte says the cultural groups and artists have made an impact in their communities and Dominica by extension.
Some of them have toured to other countries, and we take our hats off to them for the prominence which they have achieved overseas. Artists and cultural groups have helped to promote Dominica in various ways to be recognized as a country with an abundance of God-given talent and skill and a people proud of their heritage and identity. So our artists and groups, and so many others here in Dominica, continue to play their roles day after day, year after year, in building and enhancing the various cultural expressions of our country and helping artists, arts and culture to thrive.
Honorable Lockhart Hippolyte commended all those who received awards for their contribution to Dominica's culture.
Let me commend and salute all our awardees here tonight. I am very proud of you. The government is proud of you, and the people of Dominica are very proud of you and your achievements.
Chief Cultural Officer Mr. Raymond Lawrence says individuals who are committed to enhancing Dominica's culture should be recognized.
Both the National Cultural Council and the Cultural Division feel that this is a very important event because it is one of the ways we really can show appreciation to those whom we feel deserve recognition and honor in the field of arts and culture in Dominica. It is always good to take some time to thank persons and groups who we think are making positive contributions to cultural development in Dominica. As the saying goes, giving people their flowers while they are alive.
The Chief Cultural Officer says for the further development of culture in Dominica, more needs to be invested in arts and culture.
We want to encourage all those involved in promoting arts and culture in Dominica, and I urge you to continue to provide opportunities for our population to be engaged in creative and positive pursuits, and for the population to be involved in some form of cultural development. Let's all help to make Dominica a better place by making positive contributions to Dominica's development through the promotion of music, dance, Creole language, Creole education, cultural tourism, cultural industry, and the list goes on.
Mrs. Catherine Langley is a founder of the Carina Cultural Group. The Carina Cultural Group was established in November of 1993 and has promoted and preserved the Kalinago heritage both in Dominica and abroad. She's excited that her group was recognized for the Golden Drums Award.
I'm happy, I feel delighted, I feel that I have achieved wonderful work hard. I think under my leadership and my husband, I think we have done a lot for the Kalinago territory and Dominica, especially in preserving the Kalinago culture. Yes, I feel very, very happy.
Mrs. Gillis Carbon John Baptist of Capuchin has played an integral role in the promotion of culture in her community. She is a founding member of the Capuchin Cultural Group, a group which has won many awards over the years.
God bless the hour. I'm so grateful to God because I was taught that I can only pass here once and I have to give. So my feelings is about the people who have touched my life as a young person when I started, and the young persons and adults who have allowed me to be in their lives. I ask God to give me the grace to touch one life, that one life will multiply, that we can be a better world, that we can live.
For many years, Joan Frampton has played her part in culture in Point Michelle and is a founding member of the Point Michelle Cultural Group. Mrs. Frampton was overjoyed having received the award.
I feel very good. And that one is for my husband, my late husband. If he was there, oh my God, I don't know how he would walk. But I'm so happy, I expected that for a long time, because I've been working hard for a long time. You understand? So I want to say thank you to all the organizers and thank you to everyone. I'm so happy.
Rosette Bertrand from the community of Diobla was also a recipient of the Golden Drum Award for her contribution to culture in Dominica.
I am very happy tonight that I have received the Golden Drum Award. You know, they say when you receive an award, is more work you have to do. I love my traditional wear. I love my culture. And not only Independence time, I wear my national wear anytime. I wear it to go to weddings. I wear it anytime in the year I want to go to church. I just dress and I wear it. I'm encouraging the young people to wear it, especially those in my group, to the flamboyant dancers, to wear the national wear. And as for culture, our motto in flamboyant dancers is developing our community through our cultural heritage. So we do everything to enhance culture in our community.
Special recognition awards were presented to Colin XP Philip, Siobhan Vigilant, Colette Diane Telemac, Shirley Alexander, Olson Matthew, and culture lovers. For the Government Information Service, I am Shakira Pear.
You're watching National Focus. More when we return. Welcome back. Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit is of the view that civics should be a part of the school's curriculum. Prime Minister Skerrit says that more focus should be placed on the roles and contribution of citizens to the development of the country at an early age.
There are just too many of us in this country who do not know our basic rights and indeed our basic responsibilities. Because we all speak about what we should be getting, what we ought to be getting, but we never speak of our own individual and collective contribution to this effort.
The Prime Minister says that the teaching of civics in schools will create a different mindset in the upcoming generation as it relates to the responsibility of a citizen.
The teaching of civics in the schools, and I believe that it is important that we place emphasis on this, to get the succeeding generations to have a completely different mindset as to our own individual responsibilities as citizens of Dominica. Yes, the government is there to provide, and the government has certain responsibilities, but we all must play our part. And how do we play our part? What is our part really? We have to understand this and appreciate this.
Prime Minister Skerrit added that every citizen should play a part in the education of the country's children.
We have to go back to the days when we all played our part in the children's education, the community. Back in the days, there was this education pie, where the clergy, the church played its part, the government played its part, the community played its part, the private sector played its part, the parents played their part. But as time went by, we have seen too many of these subgroups in society removing themselves from the education of our children. And all is placed at the foot of the Ministry of Education, the government, to do.
Prime Minister Skerrit added that if every citizen and institution plays their part, each child has a better chance of living a successful life, which will then benefit their families and the country.
So we have to take on our individual responsibilities and to ensure that we can play our part in the children's education. Because if all our children in whatever are successful, it means every one of this family in the society would live a better life. Because all our children would be prosperous and would go on to do great things for themselves, for their families, for this community, and for Dominica.
Minister for Public Works, Honorable Kasani Laville, has called on motorists to exercise caution when traversing through areas with fallen rocks and landslides. This was following a series of landslides which occurred in parts of the island, particularly in the southeastern and northeastern districts. Minister Laville said it is important for motorists to exercise caution and discourages non-essential travel.
I'm just pleading with the general public to just exercise the greatest sense of caution and security as we use these roads. I'm discouraging non-essential travel, particularly in the areas, the suspect areas, where we continue to have a recurrence of rock falls, rock slides, and so on. So again, I know we have to use the roads, we have to access work and various services, but I'm pleading with you to exercise the greatest sense of caution along these roadways.
Minister Laville says a study of the road network from St. Mary's Bridge in Concord to Borough Square in Portsmouth has commenced.
At this point, we at the ministry, we have commenced a study, a preliminary and feasibility study of a 36.1 kilometer section from St. Mary's Bridge in Concord to Borough Square in Portsmouth, where we will be undertaking a study of the road network in that area, all the bridges, the crossings, the drainage systems, and consider realignment of the road.
Minister Laville says this project will contribute to Dominica's aim to become the first climate-resilient country in the world.
As part of our promise to build a dynamic Dominica, this will certainly be a huge leap in ensuring that we have this resilient infrastructure in our road network. So this bridge will certainly be built under that project.
Minister Laville says the recent occurrence of the natural adversities gives government the opportunity to reevaluate Dominica's infrastructure to build back better and stronger.
This gives us an opportunity to evaluate all our infrastructure along our road network. We know that much of our infrastructure had been built quite a number of years ago, where the design life and the frequency and intensity of flooding events was certainly different from what we are experiencing today, but we are on an ambitious drive to replace these old infrastructure and to ensure that we build for the future.
Minister Laville says his staff is fully prepared for the many challenges which are being encountered at this time.
I want to assure the public that the Ministry of Public Works and Digital Economy is fully prepared for many of the challenges that we are facing. We have the requisite staffing and resources to address these challenges. So I understand and I sympathize with the challenges of road users in terms of access to goods, services, school and their homes. But we anticipate these challenges We are always informed from the ODM as to what is expected. We know that in the next 24 to 48 hours, we will likely expect more rains from the trough system, and we are planning. So we know what equipment is stationed around the country. We make calls to various equipment operators to ensure that the equipment is working and is fully functional. We're in touch with chainsaw operators and various laborers in strategic areas.
And now your weather update. A trough system is expected to continue to generate cloudiness, scattered light to moderate showers, and possible isolated thunderstorms across parts of the island during the next 24 hours. Additionally, a westward moving tropical wave is expected to move across the area by tomorrow. People in areas prone to flooding, landslides, and falling rocks should continue to be vigilant and to exercise caution during the next 48 hours. A flood watch or warning may become necessary during the period. Meanwhile, Iota has developed into the catastrophic Category 5 hurricane as it approaches the coast of Central America. Iota poses no threat to Dominica. Moderate sea conditions are expected during the next 24 hours with waves peaking near 7 feet. Small craft operators and sea bathers, particularly on the East Coast, are advised to continue to exercise caution. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. Be sure to follow GIS Dominica on Facebook, YouTube, as well as on Twitter. You can also drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm. From all of us here on the GIS News Production team, I am Aaliyah Martin. Thanks for watching.